This is LTV.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisinsuranceagency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank creates success. EnterpriseBanking.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarola, Mayor for the city, and welcome. It is not a bad Thursday. The weather isn't bad. It's as hot and humid as it usually is, and it feels a little, it feels better. And so, a couple things today. We're going to be talking about the HealthAlliance maternity ward closure proposed, but then, as promised, we'll do a little. We'll have a little fun at the same time, right? So if you'd like to call, and we'll do a little summer survey, and we'll ask Keith and Bradley to take it later. But if you'd like, you can give us a call at 534-1626. And just as a reminder, tonight, Mark Marquis will be at Carter Park at 7. Weather looks good, so no issue there. Last week it was their excellent concert, really good concert, and tonight was supposed to be the rain date, and I think some people were confused about it because they thought, well, Mark Marquis playing for 2 weeks at Carter Park at 7. So Mark said, you know what? I know there's a little confusion, and I'll tell you what, I'll be back in, weather permitting, I'll be back here next Thursday. So tonight, Carter Park, 7 o'clock, Mark Marquis. And, so there you go. Last night was the Colonial Band concert. Tuesday night. Last night was Wednesday night. Tuesday night, they're just days to me. Tuesday night was the Colonial Band because we had showers. They moved it to City Hall. What a concert, really. I'll talk a little bit about it later on. Caller, welcome to the show. I think this is Art from the Art Report.
Yes, it is.
All right, I've got some questions.
I'll take the quiz if you want.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Beach, the pool, or lake?
Beach.
Your favorite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Let's see. What song reminds you of summer?
Summertime.
Summertime. Your favorite summer fruit? Is there like watermelon or cantaloupe or
watermelon?
Strawberries. Mine too. When's the last time you went on a real vacation, like overnight somewhere?
Well, the biggest trip was Italy.
Okay. How long ago was that?
Oh, years ago when we could get around pretty good. Other than that, that's about it.
Right.
I mean, we did a lot of traveling, but
of course,
that was the foremost.
Ever been on a cruise?
3 times.
When's the last time you went to the drive-ins?
Just before it closed.
And did you play?
I can't remember the day though.
It's all right. Did you play Powerball?
Yes.
You did. I know you didn't win.
I made my donation.
All right. And your favorite summer activity, if there is one?
Auto racing.
All right. Now, NASCAR was postponed, right?
Yeah.
Till Tuesday, was it? Or Monday?
Pardon me?
NASCAR NASCAR was postponed from last weekend, right?
Oh, the rain. Yeah. They ran it Sunday, the next day.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean Monday.
Monday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You passed all the the questions.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's one you might want to add. Favorite casino.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I threw in Powerball. I figured I'd add a little oomph to it.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
You passed.
And I'm pro nurses. I hope they keep or bring back, or get rid of the thought of closing the maternity at Leominster Hospital.
What hospital were you born in?
Lucy Helen in Fitchburg,
Yeah.
up near the post office.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
long time ago. I don't even think they had penicillin.
Yikes.
Aspirins and a cup of cocoa.
Yeah, Coco. Well, happy summer. Happy summer.
Yes, and to everybody else, stay dry.
All right. Take care. There's
Okay.
Art from the
All
Art
right.
Report. And, yeah, so if you'd like to take our poll, it's quick, it's easy. You know, if you don't have an answer to it, we'll just move on. Nobody's going to get critical or anything. If you'd like to take it, 978-534-1626. We'll put the phone number there if you'd like to take the poll. Let's see, Keith, would you like to take the poll?
Why, yes, I would.
All right. Beach, pool, or lake?
Probably the beach, but I'll take the pool.
Okay. Favorite ice cream?
Well, that's hard.
Yeah, hot ice cream.
Let's go chocolate chip. That
Chocolate
sounds
chip.
that sounds the best right now.
All right. Favorite summer fruit?
Ooh, watermelon.
Okay. Have you gone? When was the last time you went on like a real vacation where you like slept over somewhere? Even if it was a day trip, but just you took a real vacation, shut the phone off, and kicked back.
Oh, that was years ago when I was still a kid. My parents and I went to Plymouth.
Plymouth. All right. Ever been on a cruise?
I have not.
You ever been to the drive-in?
No, I've never been to the drive-in.
Okay.
That almost did a little while ago.
Well,
but we didn't make it.
it's still open up in Milford, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Did you play Powerball?
I have never played Powerball.
All right. And what hospital were you born in?
Leominster.
All right. We'll take a short break, and then when we come back, speaking of Leominster Hospital, we're going to be talking to our guest about HealthAlliance and the maternity ward. We'll fill you in on everything that's going on. So we're going to take a short break, and then later we'll hit Bradley up. Now that he knows the questions, he's got time to pontificate. He's got time to think about it. But we'll be back, and if you'd like to take the poll with us, it's really easy. There's no stress, right? 978-534-1626. Be right back. welcome back to Inside Leominster, and that is Whalum Park for a whale of a time. And I was just saying to the ladies here, I said, imagine if somebody's watching that video of Whalum Park and sees themselves and says, hey, that was me. And a number of photos that are posted on social media are old photos that the Historic Society or the Historic Commission would post. And let me just shut that off. And lo and behold, there was a movie at the, I think it was it the Metropolitan? Yeah, I think it was the Metropolitan. It was a movie. And I'd say out of 10 or 15 people that were waiting in line to get into the movies, I bet 8 or 9 people called and said, hey, that was me in the picture. So you never know, right? So if you saw yourself, let us know. 534-1626, and you can let Keith or Bradley know. Say, hey, I saw my picture. That was me. All right, let's talk more. I know you've heard a lot about what's happening at HealthAlliance in the maternity ward, and Amy Gagnon and Tara Corey. Is it Corey?
Yes.
Yeah. Are here to talk about it. You might have already caught them, but maybe I can ask different questions from a standpoint. So I was born in Leominster Hospital. My kids are born in Leominster. I mean, it's like everywhere you go, it's like, yeah, I was born in Leominster Hospital.
Yeah.
This is like the topic that most everybody can have a conversation about.
Yeah.
Some to my sister, my brothers, everybody's got a story about it. And I suspect that you were as surprised as I was when I heard about it. I thought,
Yeah, we were shocked.
I must have read this wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I got the phone call early in the morning, and like a courtesy call, and I called back, and there was no, and then it wasn't until afternoon when I finally, late morning afternoon, I finally found out what was going on, and I thought, I don't understand. Could this be this? I was trying to figure it out.
It doesn't seem real.
It doesn't.
No.
This doesn't.
I still feel in shock every day that I wake up. We actually did not even find out from the hospital. We found out from our friends that work at Haywood on labor and delivery. They texted us this morning, we heard you guys are closing. So we called our manager, Donna, and said, is this true? Because nobody has said anything to us. And then Paul came up to the floor and said, yes, we are in fact closing. No further questions.
And we haven't heard really anything
Nothing
since.
else after that.
Or the whites of anyone's eyes, really.
Yeah, and it's just strange because you think to yourself, in a big area like this area serves a lot of people, over 100,000 people, and I've said this publicly. There is no other metropolitan area, if you look at the census tracts, it's got this many people, that doesn't have a birthing center. There isn't. And let's go back, because I've done this get-together that we have on Thursdays for 31 years. And so much of our time originally was talking about, and we would film at, it was Twin City Cable and, I don't know, Cablevision. It was all different versions of it. And we spent a lot of time at meetings and public forums when they merged the two hospitals. And the thinking then was, they can't survive alone. And we need to merge the two hospitals. And there were a lot of concerns about that at the time, legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
And obviously, sort of territorial, parochial, right? That's our hospital. Yeah. That's what hospitals are. It's like a post office. It's like City Hall. Yeah. It's like your school. It's like your street. We're like, that's my neighborhood. And so we spent a lot of time drilling down, trying to sort out the issues associated with this merger and what it meant to everybody. And then we faced the issues of, well, two ERs can't survive. We're like, what do you mean, two emergency? No, it can't. It's just not enough. You know, the whole healthcare industry is changing. And at the time, it's, well, what if you live in Ashby? And people showed up and said, I live in Ashby. My husband's got a bad heart. What happens? Don't worry about it, because we're going to provide paramedics. And it's more important that we get somebody to you faster than you can get, so we can start medical care on you. Any assessment, that's better than getting you to that's better than you trying to get to the emergency room with no care. And we're like, well, sounds. So they set up, we had a big press thing up at the Kmart up in the Twin City Plaza. They had a helicopter and a chase vehicle. It had paramedics and an ambulance, and it was this whole HealthAlliance thing. And it would sound logical, like okay, you know, can't survive.
Is
but
this where HealthAlliance came from? The alliance of the two?
right?
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So
I didn't
then,
I didn't either.
so then they had this like chase vehicle, a paramedic, and an ambulance there right away, get you to Leominster Hospital, the emergency room, and then all of a sudden it went away, and we were like, "Where's the chase vehicle? We don't see them responding anymore." And we found out later it was dissolved.
Yeah.
Then we later found out they weren't paying for it. It had been contracted with a private ambulance company. They were billing people, but they weren't getting enough insurance to
Yeah.
keep the program alive. So HealthAlliance wasn't providing
okay.
any of these services.
Interesting.
It looked like they were,
Yeah.
but they weren't. So when there wasn't enough money that they could collect through the insurance, whatever happened, they said, yeah, we can't keep operating this way, and off the service went. And what happens to those people that will live in,
Correct.
who said, okay, in the merger, what happens now if I'm in Ashby or whatever, eventually what happened is the towns either contracted with an ambulance company themselves or they brought in their own paramedics. But that wasn't through the
But
efforts
still,
of
yeah,
HealthAlliance.
that's
So then came, okay, the next third step here was, well, we can't do it alone anymore. We're losing too many, we're losing services. They called it leakage. I don't know why they picked that word, but that was
Yeah.
the terminology. In other words, we're losing people to other hospitals. People are going other places. So then it was, we need to have an affiliation with another hospital. And Tenet, which is St. Vincent's, came forward and said, we'd like to, it's a private.
yeah.
We'd like to, have our affiliation with HealthAlliance. And UMass stepped up and said, no, we'd like to have a relationship. And so the selling feature for HealthAlliance was, well, you're losing services. You're starting to, they call it leakage. I don't
Yeah.
know why they called it that. It's like the worst word. Every
Yeah.
time I think of that, I'm like, eee. Anyway, call it that. And we're going to get those back and bring more services to the HealthAlliance, to this network of Leominster,
Yeah.
Fitchburg, Burbank, Leominster. So we're going to bring more. And obviously they did the cancer center, which was is a state of the art.
amazing,
They
yeah.
do a beautiful job up there.
Yes.
And then everything started to like turn, and then we lost cardiac,
Yep.
and we lost
Pulmonary.
pulmonary. Yeah, I mean we just started to
PD.
lose
Pediatrics.
Pediatrics. We just started losing all these things, which made everybody think, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? And then the latest thing is, which got us all in a panic, like there's a pattern here, and
Yeah.
I don't. And when I talk about this to administration at the hospital, they have no historical knowledge of any of this.
Right.
But we're all here as customers, and we're all
Yeah.
here. We've been
Yeah.
part of this.
This is our community.
And it's like, okay, we stuck our heads out, so to speak, to get our affiliation with UMass, right? And here we are now. And so, how many babies? I heard somebody had gone up to visit somebody last week and said, they were like, well, there's only 2 babies a day, an average of 2 babies a day. And they went up and said, there's more than 2 babies up there.
It comes in waves. It
Right,
definitely
of
does.
course, of course, like everything else.
Right. But even, I mean, one baby is a life, and I think that's our standpoint
Yep.
on this. How can they say we don't have enough births? So we have about 600 births a year.
Right.
So 600 babies and 600 moms coming in, that's something.
What was the maximum? Because you've worked there for a while.
We were doing up to, it was at 2,000 at one point. When I started, it was 1,500.
Right. What year was that? Because we were looking at those numbers.
That
the
was
other day.
probably about 6 years ago.
Right.
And then almost overnight, it seemed like we lost our entire Hmong population. I can't tell you the last time I took care of a Hmong patient. We used to have tons of them, and they would come in, be the nice
Asian Hmongs.
Yeah, be the nicest people to
Yes,
take care of.
very much so.
And they literally disappeared overnight, and they would have like a lot of babies.
Right,
So
of
it was good for us. And I looked into it because I said, where did all these people go? They didn't just all move out of town. And we were told that they were told they now had to deliver at St. Vincent's.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anyone is seen at Reliant, they had to go to St. Vincent's,
Right.
which is a significant part of the area, I would say.
Yeah.
People do go to Reliant, and I think that was a big problem for
Yeah.
us.
Well, in life, there's competition.
Right.
Right.
When you apply for a job, there's competition. as I said to the administration, look, I've been here 31 years. Do you know how many changes we've had to,
Right.
it's part of the business. They're like, well, everything is pushed back on, well, the insurance industry is changing. What industry hasn't changed?
Right.
Right? How do you think the Christmas tree shop's feeling right about now when they were riding this wave high, and then all of a sudden everybody else ate a piece of their, right? It wasn't the big deal that it was before. You have all
Right.
these other retailers, and what are they doing? Selling the same stuff that they're selling. So it's
Yeah.
not a big deal anymore.
Right.
Or it wasn't the big deal that it once was. So yeah, the industry changes. There's Amazon now. I mean, and in business, you have to change, right? And you really do.
And they did change us. They changed our staffing model
Yep.
to accommodate the lower birth rates.
Right.
So we have less nurses on at a
Right.
time than we did 6
Yeah.
years ago.
6 years ago, when all this happened, they had a buyout and let go about 15 nurses.
Yeah.
When things slowed down.
Right.
But you've got to wonder, it wasn't all Asian monks that were
No,
at 1,500.
there was other people. There was other patients.
So, and that's my thing is market share. I mean, let's face it. You look at it. I mean, healthcare is a business. Okay, you want to say, well, the world's changed. Okay, how do you go from 1,500 to 4? They claim it's 400 and something or 500, whatever it is. In most businesses, you'd be fired.
Right.
For losing, you lost market share. You basically
they
lost.
changed how many insurances they actually
Sure.
allowed to
Well,
deliver with us.
okay, but that's
Maybe they were
negotiating with the
accepting
insurance companies
6
or whatever.
and you go down to 3, you're going to have a decrease in birth rate.
Right. So, but who picked it up? Because there's still births, right?
Yeah.
We go into the clerk's office, like,
Yeah.
any kids born here in Leominster lately? Oh, yeah, plenty.
I think
Where'd they
a lot
go?
of people are willing to drive to Emerson because Emerson has these great accommodations. That's
Right.
what you hear. It's like a hotel
Right.
there. So here we are, and we had gotten a grant approved from UMass to get queen-size postpartum beds last June so that we could market that.
Right.
We need to do stuff to market this unit. We
Right.
could see the declining numbers. We know what people want. I gave birth to my son in Leominster almost 3 years ago now, so I get it.
Right.
You want certain accommodations.
Of course you do.
So we were trying, but they weren't willing.
And if you don't, the newsletter comes out, or you see something posted on Facebook. And I remember it was a big push to kind of push to moms, saying, this is our new, here are all the extra things, here are all of those little extra things that add value, and this is why you should come here. And slowly, I saw it.
Yeah,
I
they
saw it.
did.
And I'm like, well, these guys must know what they're doing. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I was saying that you go to Lee Valley, Pennsylvania, up through 84, and you get up to 209 into Pennsylvania, and their hospitals, we're talking electronic billboards, those big billboards, promoting birthing centers, promoting knee and joint pains. And I get a newsletter from Brigham Women's and Mass General, and I get a newsletter from St. Vincent's, I get a newsletter from Emerson, and I get nothing.
Correct.
So who were you marketing yourself to? Because clearly you lost market share. Now I understand insurance and all that, but that's part of the business. Is negotiating with insurance companies and marketing something that you're really excited about, and something that you're proud about, that you can show the world. Hey, come here, because this is what makes us different than everybody else.
Correct.
That's what competition does.
Yeah, and we tried. We, as the nurses, had contact and marketing ourselves to try to get things going.
Yeah.
And we'd move a few steps in it, and then it would just stop. Like, all of a sudden, no one's talking about it, nothing's done about it. And it was hard. We knew there was an issue, and we were trying to prevent it, but...
It seems like, in my opinion, I've said this publicly, they let those services fizzle out.
Yeah.
Just kind of fizzle out.
Oh, yeah, they
Then
started
there's
this a
nobody
while
there, and they're
ago.
like, yeah, we got to get rid of cardiac.
Correct.
Why? Well, there's only a couple guys coming up here for cardiac rehab, and, we're going to have to get, and it's like, yeah, you let it fizzle out. People forgot you even had a cardiac rehab unit up here, because today, if you buy furniture, you buy a car, they're in front of you all the time. They have to be.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the business. There are so many options now for knee, replacements and PT and whatever. And you see these urgent care centers.
Yeah.
They don't fool around. They buy full-page ads.
Right.
Everywhere you go, every time you pick up a phone, you look up something. All of a sudden, there's an ad there.
Right.
It's part of the business. Is marketing to your customers.
Right.
And my thing is, you lost market share.
Correct.
And they can blame it all. You can't blame everything on the insurance industry.
No,
you can't.
there was definitely a lack of marketing.
Because there are other hospitals functioning just fine in areas like us, still socioeconomically, same kind of mix, same sort of thing. Somebody didn't do their job is what happened. And that's the sad part. And then when I'm on the phone and like you, because I couldn't take the call right away because I was in an appointment. As soon as I was done, I called.
Yeah.
Apparently didn't get my, whatever it was, some mix up. Maybe they're on the phone with other people. People were slipping me notes like, hey, somebody just called and said they're closing maternity. I'm like, what? And emails, and then people started texting me like, is this true? Is this true? So as soon as I was through everything, I just kept calling. The hospital finally got back to me, explained. And I thought for a minute, well, where are people going to go? Like, and they said UMass, and then they said, well, let me take the call, and then caller, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dino.
Hey, it's Crystal.
How are you?
I'm good. Where are you tonight?
At home.
At home. Good. Good. It's a perfect night. Turn a fan on.
Yeah.
Watch some television or listen to the radio.
Yes, but Mark is saying he wants to get involved. He said you need to call him.
All right. Maybe Wendy's watching or somebody's watching. I need to call Mark at Hannaford. I think it was on my list. I'll call Mark tomorrow. How's that?
Okay, I'll let him know that.
All righty.
You have a good night.
All right. Take care, Crystal.
Bye. Goodbye.
So then they said, yeah, you go to UMass. You can go to Emerson. And then they said Gardner. And nothing against Gardner. I know nothing about Gardner. And I'm thinking, Gardner's the other way.
Right.
Like, now we're going this way. And then you could go that way, or you can go that way. So you can go east, you can go west, or you could go south for the hospital. Then they said, well, they timed it. It was only 20 minutes to get to UMass. Mm-hmm. So then I timed it. And I tried to do it a couple different times of the day. And 2 in the morning, you could probably get to the edge of the property at 2 in the morning.
Right.
And, but it wasn't 20 minutes, because as soon as I hit 290 at the end of 190, it was chaos.
And hitting the edge of the property when you're in labor is not the end
of
the line.
The closer you get, this is
you
like...
have to find parking, you have to find the unit.
Right. Even if they left you off out front, it just doesn't make any sense. And I get it. They have to sell this idea. And this is we're practiced, because they're going to go in front of the Department of Public Health on Monday, and they go first, right?
They do.
And they're going to get a chance to give their presentation. And then we all get a chance to speak. But so one of the things is, one of their concepts is new docs, OBGYN, new docs don't want to be part of a smaller hospital. And it almost makes sense, because they say if something goes bad and all of a sudden didn't show up anywhere and things go bad, you've got this safety net here at UMass. And that almost sounds logical, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are problem pregnancies. What's the terminology?
High risk.
High risk. There you go. See, they know that. High risk pregnancy, and sometimes you have to deliver other places because they're better set up.
Right.
And then I thought, okay, so that's your answer. Well, why are you sending people? Why are you recommending people go to Henry Haywood?
Who have less doctors than Leominster.
So, but then they said, but that's doctors would, and it almost sounds sense. They want to train in a hospital where there's less risk, and if something happens, there is a support system in there for them. That makes sense, almost.
Almost.
But then, and they're saying they can't get docs to work here. Well, how did they get them to go to Henry Haywood? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what do they have for backup should something go wrong? And from what I understand, it's a good hospital. Put an addition on it right now. I mean, I've got nothing bad. I haven't heard anything bad about it. But that's a place that you're sending us, who has less resources than we have, supposedly, from what I've heard.
Yep.
And that's where you're recommending people go.
Right. So one of the big things about Haywood, I live out further to Gardner, and I chose to deliver in Leominster because Leominster has a pediatrician in the hospital 24/7 to be there for births.
Right.
Haywood does not.
Right.
That's huge for me, and I'm sure most moms. Obviously, that's not something that was marketed for Leominster as it should. I wish it would have been over the past 5 years. But yeah, I don't think that's fair. We're the same level nursery at Haywood that Leominster is, but we have more support in Leominster as it is.
Right.
And in contrary to what they're saying about the doctors, there was a doctor. We have a doctor that was planning on leaving at the end of July to take a GYN, not obstetrics
I get it.
She
anymore.
didn't want to. She was getting older. She didn't want to do
I
OB anymore because
I
it's
understand
high risk.
that's kind
Every
of
other doctor
career
wanted
path
to
now.
stay.
Yeah, and
None of our other doctors wanted to leave.
We had a newer doctor that wanted her position.
Yeah, we had a doctor coming out of residency at UMass that was offering to take her position. All the doctors we have now wanted to stay. They actually worked out a system where they were going to have to do less call, not more call, by all combining call.
With family medical.
We have 3 OBGYN offices that we work with now, so they were all going to combine and share call.
So they had a plan. They were figuring it out. The doctor, it wasn't an issue.
Right.
They weren't saying it was an issue. They were making it work, and they were recruiting a new doctor.
Right. And just so everybody understands it, you're watching Inside Leominster, and obviously everywhere for the next couple of days, and rightfully so, you're going to hear and see, and people will be talking about, the maternity ward at HealthAlliance Leominster campus, and there's a public hearing on the 24th, which is Monday of July, because sometimes this show gets repeated at different times. It's at 6 o'clock, and it's at the Doubletree. So how this will work is that at 6 o'clock sharp, they will start the meeting. It's in front of the Department of Public Health. They will allow HealthAlliance in a lot of time to sort of explain their proposal for the closure. They then will allow, and I expect there'll be a lot of people, based on when we had the merger and everything, there were a lot of people. We were there till after midnight. I saw your face when I said that, the other night. I said, we're going to be there after midnight. And you're like, what? Maybe not. But anyway, we were then. It was, there wasn't as many vehicles like this and social media to kind of get the word across.
Get people coming.
And so then they'll allow everyone 3 minutes to speak. And they'll allow elected officials first to speak. And there are a number of state reps and senators, and there are a whole lot of people that I know are going to speak. And then they'll open it up. And again, 3 minutes. And if for some reason you can't make it, you're working, you don't like to get up in front of people, and that's sure. Then there are places that will get you the information where you can write something up and send in your thoughts. The important thing is, like a senior citizen called today, in her 90s, said she has to go to St. Vincent's now for her cardiac. She lives within 1/8 of a mile of the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so those are the kind of stories we hear. It's like, what happened to our hospital?
Yeah.
And you can't always blame everything on insurance, because there are plenty of hospitals doing just fine.
Yep.
And they have the same challenges. We do. Running an ambulance system today. They're running a city. Everything's changed. The whole world's changed.
Right.
Your job has changed. Your expectations. Everything's changed. You can't always use that as an excuse. Right. And that's what they're really relying on is, hey, we tried everything. Now, in their presentation, they're going to tell you, just be prepared, how they tried everything. Oh. They did community surveys. They went out and talked to people about why aren't you coming to the hospital, and they tried to reboot. I mean, just get ready, because that's what is going to be said. And it's important that each of us who gets 3 minutes has to be able to counter it. And we can't all get up and just say, and there's obviously an emotional part of this, which is, I can't believe you closed the hospital. I had my baby there, my nephew was born, and my cousin and my brother, and everybody, our whole family was born there. You can say that, but you can only say that so many times. You got to get to the 3 minutes, and we all each have to make a point, because we don't have an hour apiece. Right. So that's critical. But obviously, if you want to show up and say, hey, listen, there's nothing better than somebody's personal experience about, they almost lost a child, or it wasn't high risk, but it turned into high risk. Correct. And I can just see, and I'm not trying to create fear, but I could just imagine how many times people are going to panic and call the ambulance. And we go to every call. We're never going to say to somebody, listen, calm down. You can call a cab or an Uber, or call your friend. No. We're going to go there. And whatever it takes, we're going to follow through. Yeah. If it means we have to take you to another hospital, we're going to take you to another. It means you have to be delivered in your living room, we're going to be delivering you to the living room. If it has to be in an ambulance, it's going to be an ambulance. But think of it, kids won't be born at Leominster Hospital. They might be born in an ambulance from Leominster on the way to UMass or somewhere else. And so this meeting is critical. Let me just add one more thing. The Department of Public Health, many are under the assumption that the Department of Public Health, after the hearing, can take it into consideration and later say, you can't close. That's not the case. Not true. They can recommend, strongly urge that they don't close, because there are just countless amounts of times, not just our hospital, but in other situations where they listened to everybody and said, no, you shouldn't cut that service, there shouldn't be this, there shouldn't be that, and they went ahead and did it anyway.
Right.
So this is just, Monday night is basically step one.
Right, it's formality.
I don't want anybody to think that we're all going to go home and we're just going to wait for the decision. If they don't make one that night, which they probably won't, they'll listen to everybody, that we're all going to just pack up and say, oh, we really tried hard. No, trust me, there are many more steps to go, and we'll be taking those.
Yeah.
I don't want to elaborate too much on it, but I can just tell you, this is not, hey, high five, nice job, everybody,
Yeah.
you did our best. There's more to go.
Good.
So, yeah, if you have any questions, 978-534-1626, and you've got a lot. If somebody wants a lawn sign, I know you had a lot of lawn signs, you're very organized. You have them here? We have them here.
We have a couple. We don't have
a
many.
couple?
Yeah.
Okay. But if somebody wants one, is there a place they could call or email?
So if they find us on Facebook, Leave Labor in Leominster, just message us. We have nurses going out and putting them in people's yards
Okay.
for them, or
Leave
arranging.
Leominster.
Leave Labor in
Leave
Leominster.
Labor in Leominster.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
There you go. Leave Labor in Leominster. And if you do that, you'll find it. They'll come and actually put the sign in for you. They'll come pick it up later.
And
But-
also, if people can go on there, we have our petition. We're trying to get at least 10,000 signatures to present to
That's awesome.
DPH.
Caller, welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Just want to point out that I think that what's really important here is the history of our community hospital, Leominster Hospital, and I hope that a lot of people will take the time to actually look at the website for the Leominster Hospital site and take a look at the history behind this hospital and the creation of it.
Yep.
It's quite interesting to see that the original hospital was actually founded by a doctor here in Leominster in 1909.
Yep.
And going forward, they realized that there was a need to expand that hospital.
Right.
And one of our former mayors, an industrialist, a philanthropist, Bernard Doyle,
Yep.
realized that that need was critical for the growth of our city, and donated 20 acres of land
Right.
to make that possible where the hospital presently sits.
Yep.
And I just think that, we all need to remind the folks at Department of Public Health that community hospitals is what's the most important thing
Right.
for a community to grow and thrive. Creating a desert in any community in the state of Massachusetts is unacceptable.
Yeah. No, well said.
So hopefully we will see a very large turnout, and I hope
think there will be.
that people express their opinions on this. It's vital to our community. It's vital to the entire Montechusett area, and it's very important that we support all our medical professionals. These people are extremely dedicated. We've seen the results coming out of the pandemic of what it's done to these folks. They're already way overstretched in what people expect of them, and we are not at a point in time when we can ill afford to lose any more services in this community. As you brought up earlier in the show, with the loss of the cardiac unit
Right.
a couple of years ago, we've seen now the disappearance of cardio specialists. We had a very large practice here at the Leominster Hospital,
Yep.
professionals, and they have now removed themselves. They've moved to Sterling, Massachusetts.
Yeah, right over the line, next to
Yeah.
after Mayola's on the right, a brand new
and
complex.
they've now reaffiliated with St. Vincent's Hospital. So folks that were depending on that care, that critical care, at that time in their life when they need it, no longer can access it. And as you said, a person who lives literally an eighth of a mile from the hospital should not have to travel out of town to find those services
Right.
at a time when they're most vulnerable and probably don't have the resources to find their way throughout the community.
Yep.
We're not located in the city of Boston.
Nope.
We don't have MBTA service to all the surrounding communities or suburbs of Boston, and therefore we need to have a community hospital, a solid community hospital that offers all ranges of services, not an emergency room and end-of-life care only.
Right.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
see
you.
on Monday night.
Well said. See you there.
That was great.
So that's that, right? I mean, that's the message. I can't believe how many, and I mean, we just go amongst our business and we tell our friends or whoever, hey, I had a kid or my cousin, I'm going to see somebody. But the stories out there are unbelievable. And we heard some the other night, and we're hearing more and more of them every day about the hospital. So I think, our time now is, myself and the mayor of Fitchburg, Dana Talley, asked the auditor's office to take a look at this. Where did the money go? How much of the same very people who, and it appears, right, on the surface, and this is what we're looking for, somebody to audit, so it's not us.
Right.
Let's look at it. A hospital that says an affiliation with us is going to help you. We're not going to lose these services. That's why you need to choose us to affiliate. Well, but it just seems like the services went to UMass in Worcester.
Right, they just
after
took
they
them.
told us that we're going to help you. Anything that you lost, we're going to get back and more. But that's not the case anymore.
No.
And that's what we got to look at is, well, let's look. And if there was a loss, then what was the loss the result of? And I remember we delayed the emergency room expansion because of the financial problems in Worcester. So, and then the kick of all kicks is calling it, give me the right title, UMass, HealthAlliance, Clinton.
Yeah.
Is that what it says on the building up there?
UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital.
Yeah. That's
To confuse people.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
So when we have to write our employer, like on little forms, it's like UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, Leominster campus.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things I explained to them, I said, if you go to Mass General, they don't do everything at Mass General. They might send you, because they have an affiliation with Brigham Women's. You might end up in Foxborough. You might end up in Faulkner Hospital. But it's all part of a system. And you feel like it's part of the system.
Right.
I don't feel like this is part of a system.
That
We
is
don't
so
either.
true.
I'm part
so true.
of a system.
We don't.
Where, okay, we're going to do your knee. We're going to do it in, UMass Health Alliance, UMass Leominster campus.
Yeah.
I don't feel that. I
No.
feel like we're like stepchildren, or we're affiliated, but we're not.
Yeah, you're so.
Yeah, we
that's
don't
so
feel
true.
any support from
Yeah.
UMass.
No.
I don't, do you?
Right.
No, we had asked for newer nurses if we could train in the NICU it's part of UMass at Worcester, just to get some experience. Oh no. You guys can't come here. There is no affiliation for the nurses. The nurses union is different.
Right.
So they wouldn't let us even.
But that doesn't happen in these other hospitals.
No.
You see the doctor says, okay, we're going to do this procedure. And, there's so many different, you could be 30 miles away. I was driving through Lynn, and it's this brand new building. And it's UMass and Brigham Women's. And I'm like, wow, and they were shocked when I said, when they did the merger, one of the selling features is, they took us to Leahy Clinic and said, this is the future of healthcare. That was their model. I said, what happened?
Yeah, that's where I started being a
What
nurse.
went
I love
wrong?
Leahy. We are not like Leahy.
Yeah, I said,
no
what
way.
went wrong here? Something clearly went wrong.
No
All right,
way.
here we go. Let's, on a lighter note. Anyways, a very good article in the Telegram and Gazette about Amy producing an email that they denied.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, no, that never happened. It's like, well,
No,
here's
it
the
did.
email.
Yeah,
Tell us
did
about
great.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I run the hospital's neonatal resuscitation program. I'm in charge of training the labor and delivery nurses and the postpartum nurses on neonatal resuscitation, which is basically CPR for a baby when it's born and not breathing.
Right.
Currently, to work on our unit, it's mandated that you have this training. To work in the ER, it's just a recommendation. It's not a requirement.
Right.
So with the rollout of the closure, they had asked me if I would train everybody. I'm going to be getting laid off September 22nd, so I said I'll do a class each month, which I normally do. We can fill it up with ER staff. And then they wanted me to continue to train people, which I won't be there. And I'll be fine. I'll be able to find another job. Just I fear for the people of the community.
Of course, sure.
Babies don't just fall out.
Right.
There's tons of different OB emergencies that can happen.
Right.
The head can come out before the body comes out, before the shoulders and the body come out, which is called a shoulder dystocia. Somebody can have a uterine abruption, a placental abruption. The baby can be born not breathing, and it takes a team of 5 people to resuscitate that baby. And then the mom could be hemorrhaging, and then you need another 5 people to take care of that mom. That takes up our entire unit of staff.
Right.
So all the other ER patients are going to be getting ignored.
Right.
And how are you going to be the one to decide, does this person live or does this person live? You know what I mean?
Right.
Our ER nurses are top notch, but this is not another weight that should be on their shoulders. This should be
They're
left
busy
for an
enough in there.
inpatient
Sure.
unit.
And I think with that article, the hospital came back and said, that's not true. All of the ER nurses are already certified in this. That's a practice that we've been doing, which you had a class this morning.
I had a class this morning with 8 ER nurses, and only one of them had ever taken the class. Some of them were almost in tears thinking about what this is going to mean for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then a second request came from Gagnon's direct supervisor. A screenshot of the text read, Amy, would you consider teaching NRP for the ED, which would be the emergency department?
This closure is, if it's set to go through, is set to go through in what, 8 weeks?
Right,
And the
because they know it's coming.
The fact that this
they know
training,
the situations are coming.
yeah, the fact that this training has not already been done and a plan in place.
And she's their plan, and she's not willing to do it. So it's not.
They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan what is going to happen with these moms and these babies. Moms will be delivering in the ER or delivering in ambulances. Ambulances are not set up and do not have the equipment that is necessary to resuscitate a baby.
But they said it didn't happen, and then you produced a text that said, Caller, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. I wish more people would appreciate the rich history of Leominster Hospital. This is a hospital, actually, that, the present location was completed in 1922. Although Leominster's first hospital goes back to the early 1900s, in the 1910s. And you know where it was located?
Off of Merriam Ave.
On Blossoms, right. Off of Merriam Ave.
Right. I think it was where Cassimi's house is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, the hospital that actually, the Leominster Hospital that was completed in 1922 had a fantastic labor, delivery, nursery, and a postpartum area on the entire second floor. And there were many births. And of course, the most number of births were actually after World War II. That's when Leominster Hospital experienced a great increase in births.
Right.
But I can't believe, there are many births still continuing in the north central Mass area, Fitchburg, Leominster area.
Absolutely.
And it would be a tragedy. It would actually be a sin, a crime for Leominster Hospital UMass Memorial Healthcare to close the labor, the maternity unit.
Can you show up on Monday night or write something for us? Because that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just hopeful there is coverage. I hope either LTV or FATV is able to cover this. You remember the ice storm we had? Was it 2008 or was it 2009?
Oh, I remember it. Yes.
That was extensive coverage by the local access television.
Yes. Yes.
And I hope that we see that.
Yes.
We hope we urge that our access TV stations cover this.
Yeah.
So that many people that are not able to get out the DoubleTree will be able to watch this.
But remember, you can still send in your comments.
Yes, that is still people do.
If you can't.
Let's hope for the best on Monday evening.
Yes.
Thank you.
All the best, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye, Samir. Bye.
So long.
Bye.
What did I do with my little survey here? Because now I can't let you. I mean, it's. Oh, where is it? Did I drop it or something? I don't know what happened to it. Can't let you leave without it. Oh, okay. Ready? You first.
Ready.
Beach, pool, or lake?
Lake.
Favorite ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip.
Nice. Let's see. What song reminds you of summer?
Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama. Now we're going to ask you which artist, because it was done by two, right?
Yeah.
Favorite summer activity? If you could do whatever you wanted during the summer, what would it be?
Tubing on a boat.
Tubing.
Yeah.
Favorite summer fruit?
Watermelon.
Going or have gone on a real vacation? Have you done one of those?
I have done nothing except what
She
we're
was
doing
one
now.
after us.
Ever been on a cruise?
Yes.
All right. Driving. When was the last time you went to a drive-in?
last year, but my husband just brought my kids while I was working Friday night.
Pretty good. Did you play Powerball?
Yes.
You did. And what hospital were you born in?
Leominster
Here you
Hospital.
go. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Beach, pool, or lake?
Lake.
Favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
Vanilla?
Yeah.
It's like, guys, we all go to Kimball's, 800 different ones. What do you pick? Vanilla, chocolate chip, all that. 20 minutes of holding the lineup, right? Let's see. Favorite summer fruit?
Watermelon.
See, I could eat a whole watermelon.
Yeah, so good.
Have gone on a real vacation?
Yep.
You did? Okay. Ever been on a cruise?
Yep.
All right. Driving. When was the last time you went to a drive-in?
Not forever. I can't even remember.
All right. You must have won as a kid. Did you play Powerball?
Yep.
You did?
I did
And what
win.
hospital were you born in?
I was born at Lowell General.
Lowell General.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
We'll see
for
you
having
Monday
us.
night.
We'll see you
Yep,
then.
we'll be there.
And everybody eat well. Don't eat any sugar for the day. You know, you bring some, energy drinks or something. You don't want to be fading away at 10 o'clock at night when it's your turn to speak. All right, we'll take a short break and then we're going to come back and wrap up the show for you.
The Flower Comet was one of Whalen Park's most famous and cherished rides.
All right, we're back here at Inside Leominster. Just a couple of minutes. We have, 4 minutes left to go. I don't have a remote to do the photos of the week, but just a couple of reminders. Tonight, Mark Marquis, Thursday night, over at Carter Park at 7. Whalen Park, they get, the Whalen Park fun rides, amusement rides over at Doyle Field. Got rained out on Sunday. They asked if they could stay this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We said, sure, it looks like nice weather. Great event. We couldn't find... We try to find the amusement rides that most resembled Whalen Park, and so it's not everything you could ever imagine, but it's not bad. And then obviously on Monday night is an important night in terms of what's happening here at HealthAlliance. So it's just so you know, it's International Chess Day, National Fortune Cookie Day, National Lollipop Day, National Moon Day, National Pennsylvania Day, National Ugly Truck Contest Day. I've owned plenty of those. And Space Exploration. All right, here's the events that you should be looking at. Woo Sox game, Leominster Day next Tuesday, July 25th. Starburst the 29th. National Night Out the 1st. Italian Festival August 5th. Beer Garden on the 12th. Tax-free weekend the 12th and 13th. Dining Under the Stars August 29th. Johnny Appleseed Festival September 23rd. Food Truck Festival September 8th. And the Cannoli Fest October 9th. Can you believe that? All right, let's get right to pictures of the week. Here we go. Where are we? That looks like Upper West Street. Heading to, Upper West Street after West End Variety, doing the sidewalks over. We're going to be doing more sidewalks, more paving. Congratulations to Nathan on raising $123 at your lemonade stand. It's Tara's birthday. She didn't want anything for her birthday. This kid was out there 3 days in the incredibly intense heat. Big smile, happy kid. It was lemonade stand, and I said, I'll tell you what, for Tara's birthday, I'll match as much as you can raise. And we posted it, and all these people ran down, gave him 10, 20 bucks. And there I am. I delivered him his match, which is 125 bucks. And there we are. Do no harm, right? There's the rally that was held the other night on Monday. Great job. People have been, through the summer, have been so supportive. See you on Monday night, 6 o'clock. And then we raised the pride flag downtown, right in the Common. And it was a nice afternoon. And lots of people showed up. I want to thank Fidelity Bank for showing up and giving us all free ice cream. And yes, so on the left is what Washington Street looked like at the bottom near the hospital. On the right is all the new pipe. So they've been installing the new pipe, but the reason that they're doing that is because the drainage system can't handle all that water. So on the right-hand side is the new pipe that'll be going in will solve that problem. And the Colonial Band, as I was saying, Tuesday night, I don't know, they did Burt Bacharach. And I hope, can you guys post when they're showing this again? Because it was outstanding concert. Indoors, air conditioned, but there was just something special about that night. And if you get a chance to watch it, please do. And if you let Wendy or myself know, we'll post it on Facebook when you're going to show this again. And there it is. Wayland Park is back for a little while here at another weekend, this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there's the planning meeting over there. And this is the festival, Italian Festival Planning Committee. And we'll get a lot done in a short amount of time. And it's really going to be a lot of fun. August 5th, rain day to the 6th. And congratulations to Sergeant Vasquez, newest sergeant on the police department. And we swore him in, I think, on Monday. So that's it, kids. Sorry, couldn't get to much more than this tonight. And that was a fast hour, but thanks for watching. And remember, good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. Please show up or write in on the maternity ward closure Monday night, July 24th, 6 o'clock at the Doubletree. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you in part through the generous support of N.P. Crowley Company Incorporated and by DeCarolis Insurance Agency Incorporated, DeCarolisInsuranceAgency.com, and by Enterprise Bank. Enterprise Bank, create success, enterprisebanking.com.
This is LTV.